Dear students, good morning. Today we are going to discuss about the interesting topic, that is electricity. Can you name some device that works with electricity? Yes. Bulb, fan, refrigerator, washing machine, micro oven, electric iron box and heater, all we can say works by means of electricity. So today we are going to discuss about the lesson electricity. So where we get electricity? The electricity we get from the power station. Power station is a place where large scale of electricity is produced by means of various sources. There is wind energy, solar energy, nuclear energy and then thermal energy. So from the power plant station they obtain these energies, and from the power station it is moves on to the substation. From the substation it goes on to the nearby transformers. From the transformer to the poles, and then poles to the schools, colleges, industries and all will get. Okay. So what is meant by electricity? Electricity we can say it is a movement of electrons. The movement of electrons makes a electric current. As a result it produces a energy said to be electric energy or electricity. So in earlier days, John Dalton, a scientist, said that atoms are indivisible particles. But later on, by means of Goldstone experiment, they found the atoms are further divided into protons, neutrons and the electrons. So the electrons only makes us to the constituting for electric current. Now we are going to see deeply in this lesson about the charges, the transfer of charges, electroscope, electric circuit and then its applications. Now we are going to discuss about the atom. So what do you mean by atom? Atom is the smallest particle and it consists of subatomic particles, that is protons, neutrons and electrons. Proton is said to be positive charge, neutron neutral charge and electrons negative charge. Proton and neutron combine together in the nucleus. Okay, it is at the center of the atom and the electrons will be revolving around it in a circular orbit. So free movement of electrons will be taking place, but inside the nucleus, protons and nucleus are closely bounded. The electrons which is closest to the nucleus cannot be removed easily, but the electrons on the outer orbit can be easily removed. So those electrons can be removed, moves and constitutes the electric current. Okay. Now we are moving on to charges. Regarding charges, when we say the electric current is measured by means of the charges said to be coulomb. So 1 coulomb is equal to 6.242 into 10 to the power of 18 protons or electrons. There are two types of charges, positive charge and then negative charge. If number of protons is more in the atom, then it is said to be positive charge. If a number of electrons is more compared to that of the proton, then it is said to be negative charge. So proton, if it is increased, positive charge. If electrons are increased, then it is said to be negative charge. So two types of charges are there. So the next point, two charges same means repulsion will be taking place. That is positive repulsion will be taking place. Negative repulsion will be taking place. So one negative and one positive if you take, then only attraction will be taking place. For example, you can see in case of this battery, this end is said to be positive and this end is said to be negative. So while you are doing connections, so on positive end means from the negative end we have to connect, then only it will work, otherwise it won't work. So same charges means repulsion will be taking place, opposite charges means attraction will be taking place. From this you can say transfer of charges, how it takes place. First one, in case of friction. What do you mean by friction? When two objects rub together, friction will be produced. For example, in case of the olden days, when we consider the old man with two split tones, when he rubbed together, the spark is produced. That is, fire was discovered. So you might have read in our history. The same here in case of friction means what? Rubbing with another one object rubbed with the another object. Here we are taking silk cloth and the glass rod. A silk cloth is taken and it is rubbed with the glass rod. So when we say if an electron atom loses one electron, it becomes positive charge. If an atom gains one electron, it becomes negative charge. In case of here, when we consider when silk cloth is rubbed together, it gains electrons and becomes negative charge, and the glass rod loses the electron and becomes positive charge. From this we infer when any two objects are rubbed together, one object lose the electron and another object will gain the electron. Then the next one, conduction. In case of conduction, here we are taking the example ebonite rod and the woolen cloth. In case of ebonite rod, the same, when we rub together, what will happen? It becomes negative charge, and woolen cloth loses electron and become positive charge. When these two objects are taken to a cylinder, kept near a cylinder, which is a neutral charge, nothing charge was there. When you keep the ebonite rod close to it by touching, this rod also becomes negative. So transformation of charges in case of conduction takes place only by touching it. Okay. When we touch, the electrical charges get transferred to another body and the same charges will be transferred to both the cases. This is said to be transferred by conduction. And the third case is transfer of charges by induction method. Induction means without touching the object. For example, a glass rod is taken and another cylindrical rod is also taken. Here, without touching, if this glass rod is said to be negative, when it comes near to a neutral object or closer to the glass rod, it becomes positive charge and the repulsion will be taking place in the opposite directions. When it is grounded, the negative charge will all go down. As a result, the cylindrical rod will become positive charge fully. So like this transformation takes place, that is said to be transfer of charges by induction. So first case, when two objects rub together, transformation of charges will be taking place. And the second case, in case of conduction, by touching an object, the electrically no charge objects becomes either positive charge or negative charge. And third case, in case of induction, without touching the object, transformation of electrons will be taking place and the whole object is said to be either positive charge or negative charge. Next we move on to electroscope. Electroscope works based on the principle of this transfer of charges either by touching. An electroscope is an instrument used to detect or measure the charges present on the body. So the first electroscope was discovered by the scientist Gilbert. So he introduced a simple experiment which works by means of electrical devices. For example, there are two types of electroscopes. First one, pitfall electroscope and another one, gold leaf electroscope. In case of pitfall electroscope, it has two metal rods connected at the center and then it moves upwards and at the other end a knob will be present. So in this case, it works on the principle like charges repel each other, unlike charges attract each other. Here, when a charged particle, that is negative charge, is brought near to the metal knob, so the positive charge will be occur at the top, remaining free electrons will move downwards and here the both leaves is like a negative charge. As a result, the repulsion will be taking place but at the top will have the positive charge present in it. From it we can make a uncharged body to be charged. Then if we keep the metal to be detected at the top of the knob, if attraction takes place, it is said to be negative charge and if repulsion takes place, it is said to be positive charge. The same only works in case of the gold leaf experiment. The gold leaf experiment was discovered by the scientist named Abraham Bennett. Here he used either gold or silver as the leaf because gold and silver are said to be good conductors of electricity. Do you know what is conductors? The material which allow the electric current to flow through them are said to be conductors. Here we make use of this gold, either gold or silver, in the center of the leaf. And then at the top of the knob, the brass rod is taken. Now we are going to discuss about the structure of the leaf. Structure of the electroscope. It is made up of a glass jar. A vertical brass rod is inserted into the jar through a cock. The top of the brass rod has a horizontal brass rod or brass disc. And then two gold leaves are suspended from the brass rod into the jar. Now we are going to see the working of the electroscope. Working of the electroscope. When the brass disc of the electroscope is touched by the charge object, electric charge gets transferred to the gold leaf through the rod. This results that the gold leaves will always move away from each other. That means that gold leaf occurs similar charges, so the repulsion takes place. If it has unlike charges, it will come and contract. Now we are going to see charging and discharging. What do you mean by charging? Transfer of charge from one object to the another is said to be charging. For example, here in case of the gold leaf, it occurs charge by means of the brass rod. So next we are going to see electrical discharge. What do you mean by electrical discharge? So we have already charged that gold leaf. After some time, if it leaves as such, then it will lose the electron and becomes neutral. In another case also we can do. When we touch the brass rod with bare hands, it transfers the charge to the earth through the human body. Now we are going to see lightning and thunder. So in olden days, in the sky they have seen lot of wonders. So you might have also seen during the rainy season that lightning and thunder will occur. Which you will see first, lightning or thunder? Yes, you will see lightning because light travels faster than the sound. So in some cases thunder occurs first, then only lightning. In some other cases lightning occurs first, then the thunder. We will see the reason for the lightning and thunder now. Lightning is produced by discharge of electricity from cloud to cloud or from cloud to the ground. During thunderstorm, air is moving upwards rapidly. So this air, when it moves upwards, it carries along ice crystals with it. Some water droplets will be moving downwards. So this ice crystal occurs positive charge and the water drops occurs negative charge. When they come and collide with each other, lightning takes place, electricity is produced. As a result, we can see lightning and the air explodes with the temperature of 30,000 degrees centigrade and the lightning will fall down. So in some cases, the clouds, when we consider the clouds, it occurs positive charge on the upper part and the negative charge on the lower part. That is electrons in the lower part. These electrons, when they move and come, they will see the accumulated charges in the ground. That is in the mountains or in the trees or even in the human beings also. So when during lightning time, we have to be safe. When we are coming out in the open area, we will get that lightning will come and fall on us. So what are the precautionary measures we have to take means we have to squat down during that time. If we squat down, lightning won't affect us. So in some cases we can see first thunder will be seen, then the lightning. It is because the distance between the clouds and the ground. So according to that area only, that either lightning or thunder will be seen first. Okay. In the air and contraction and expansion takes place continuously above the surface, that time the booming sound will be taking place. That is said to be thunder. Earthing is a safety device which helps the people preventing from the heavy shock. It is a process in which discharge of electric current takes place by means of low resistance wire. In our domestic appliance, we have seen television, refrigerator, washing machine and all. They used to have the stabilizer along with it. With the stabilizer, that voltage, if it is high, it will stabilize the voltage, then it will send to the appliance. If it is low or high, if we use the stabilizer, it will minimize the current and then it will send to the refrigerators. Similarly, in case of electric iron box or electric heater, we used to have 3-pin sockets. That is live wire, neutral wire and the earth wire. If these appliances are connected with the earth wire safely, then if any insulation of the live wire is get damaged or heated, then the current is made to pass over the entire appliance. During that time, if the metallic wire of the earth wire is connected properly, we won't get the shock. So that is said to be earthing. Next we move on to lightning arrestor. So ultimately lightning arrestor, when lightning occurs, when it falls on the building, it gets damages. In order to avoid the top of the building, we used to have a metal rod which is made up of lightning rod. So it is kept in the air, it remains free in the air itself. So when lightning comes and falls on the metallic rod, that wire is insulated, wire is kept from the top to the bottom during construction itself, and the other end of the wire is grounded deep inside the earth with a copper plate. This is said to be lightning arrestor rod. If it is absent, means the lightning occurs, it will damage the building. Next we move on to electric circuits. So remember, electric circuits, in a closed conducting path only the current can able to flow. In earlier days they are seen the current is flowing from positive terminal to the negative terminal. That is in the battery, from positive of the battery to the negative of the battery. It is said to be conventional current. But after the discovery of the electrons, they found that the flow of electrons takes place from negative terminal to the positive terminal. So from negative of the battery, when you connect a bulb, a key, and then to the positive end, then if the circuit is said to be closed, the current will flow through it. So in case of the electric circuits, it's of 3 types: simple circuit, series and parallel. In case of a simple circuit, we are used to have a battery, a key and a bulb and the connecting wires. If the connection is given properly, then the bulb will glow. This is said to be simple circuit. In case of series circuit, the bulbs are connected end-to-end connections. One after the another, the connections will be given. When a current is made to pass over it, the bulb will be connected continuously, so it will glow dimmer. In the line it will be arranged, the current remains the same, voltage alone varies in these cases. In case of functions in our houses, housewarming, during festival time in our temples, we can see the serial from the top to the bottom. They used to flow the series bulbs. If one of the bulbs gets damaged, the circuit connection will be break and the remaining bulb does not glow. So the series connections is used only for decoration purposes. The next we are going to see parallel circuit. What do you mean parallel? Separate connections, separate wires are applied for each appliances. For example, in a house, when you see, it is made up of parallel circuits only. So if in a room, if you have bulb and a fan, if the bulb does not work also, if you put another switch, fan will work for you. So parallel connection means separate connections will be given. So the appliances are safe and we can make use of it. In our houses and all, we used to have parallel connections. The next we move on to chemical effect of electric current. So when a current is made to pass through any appliance, certain chemical changes will be taking place. That changes is said to be chemical effect of electric current. We already know the electricity flows through only on the metals, but on liquids also we can conduct electricity. For example, in case of batteries and all, the conversion of chemical energy is converted into electrical energy. We might have used in cell phone and mobiles, laptops and all, and then in case of car batteries and all. So the chemical energy is converted into electrical. The appliance of the chemical effect of electric current are made use in various types. There are two main applications we are making use. First one, electro refining, and another one, electroplating. In case of electro refining, purification of the metal takes place. For example, purification of silver and gold can be obtained by making use of this electro refining. The next here main use what we are going to see is electroplating. Electroplating means the deposition of one layer to the another layer. That is, one metal to the another metal is said to be electroplating. Various appliances we are making use. For example, this rolled gold. Okay, that what we use, that is made up of this electroplating method only. And then taps in our houses are made up of this electroplating. Take a glass jar and fill it with a copper sulfate solution which act as an electrolysis. Now we are inserting two metal rods. One is said to be positive and another said to be negative. Positive rod we are taking a copper rod, and the negative we are taking a iron spoon. So when a current is made to pass through the solution, the copper is deposited over the iron spoon after some times. So the equal amount of discharging takes place in case of the copper rod and in case of the iron spoon. Now on the iron spoon, the coating of the metal occurs. That is, now the spoon turns to copper spoon. Like this only the electroplating will be taking place. So appliance of the electroplating mainly considered in the bridges and automobiles. The metal is made of iron, and over that coating of this zinc will be done in order to avoid corrosion and rusting. Stainless steel metals in automobile keys and then taps and all, we used to put chromium. Chromium is highly expensive, so full metal cannot be made by means of chromium. So cheaper metal like iron we make the metal, and over that coating of chromium will be done. So electroplating plays a vital role in order to avoid corrosion. Okay. Next we move on to heating effect of current. So in the appliance, when the current is made to pass, if it generates heat, then it is said to be heating effect of electric current. In this we are going to see fuse, electric cooker, electric kettle and electric iron. So what do we fuse? It is a safety device. In a house itself you might have seen, in each room we used to have a fuse along with it. If the current exceeds maximum level, the fuse wire will melt. The fuse wire is made up of tin and lead. Okay, when enormous amount of current is made to pass, the fuse wire melts and it breaks the circuits and the appliance is made safe. So we can replace the fuse by replacing it with the wire. Nowadays and all, instead of fuse we used to have MCBs, that is miniature circuit breakers. That is, it automatically will shut down when overloading comes, and manually we have to make it on. And some other advanced type also have come, that miniature circuit will shut down, the current will pass over it, and then it automatically regains to its original position. The next we are going to see in case of electric cookers. Electric cookers, at the bottom it will become red hot. As a result, the rice what we put inside it get cooked and the steam will be coming out. The next one, electric kettle, that is convection process will be taking place. In case of water or milk, if we keep, the steam will be come out. Okay. The last one, electric iron. Iron box we used to press the cloths. Okay. So in case of the iron box, when we see, the nickel metal will be present at the bottom base of the iron box. It gets heated and generates heat energy outwards, so that we can able to press the clothes and make use of it. From this lesson we have seen electricity, and then the charges, transfer of charges, and then chemical effects, and then electric circuits, and finally we are seeing heating effect of the current. So the moral to this lesson what we are going to see is, we have to save electricity and we have to safely handle electricity. We should not keep our bad hand or wet hand towards the electric appliances. because due to our body is made up of 70% of water, it is a good conductor of electricity. So we are also a good conductor of electricity, and if we handle those electrical appliances without safe means, it leads to death. So save electricity, save nature. Thank you, students.